Hello everyone. Today my name is Michitanya. I am here to explain you my first task from the Sparks Foundation internship, and in this I have created four visualizations that explains a data is about a superstore in which what the superstore what kind of quantities are sold and all the sales, how much profit done, how much quantity from which state and everything about that. So I'll be explaining my first sheet. My first sheet is about a small my first sheet is about a small brief of what the entire data visualization is. So from this I've selected the top categories, that is sales, categories of what the product is sold, and which region: central, east, south and west. So from this we can see that from the west, in the west side furniture is sold the most. In the Also in the west side, office supplies are sold the most, whereas in east side, technology is mostly sold. So from this, the business manager can understand that there are more technology prospective users in this side, and he has to improve his strategies, business strategies in the south side for because three of the products are less sold in these three in this region, southern region and central region is a little more, we can see it's better. We had 160k of sales, whereas southern region is below or near to 140k. So this is just a small brief about the categories and everything. Let's jump on the second sheet and understand the visualization that I've been tried to create. And from this visualization, this is a bar structure like, and in this we had the same categories. The Let me do the full screen mode. In this also we can see that here I've changed the entity from sales to profit, so we can see what profit we generated and which product. So we can see that in the California state, Los Angeles city, we had around profit of 3072. Then in the New York City, we had profit of 5,307, and in Seattle, Washington State, we had around 6,209. So more profit was from Washington side. So we can assume that more amount of user who wants to purchase furniture is in Washington. Then if we move further towards the web office supplies, we can see that in the Los Angeles, in Detroit and in New York City, there are more people who are using office supplies, and in Washington also. Here there is rise in Minneapolis because here also more people are there. Also in San Francisco, there are more users. And if we move forward towards the technology, we see a rise in New York City. There are more technology users in the New York City. Same in the Los Angeles, San Francisco. We can see in the Indiana state also there is more persons who are using technologies, and same with the island and Washington state. From this visualization, the business manager can understand that here I just give a small example. See, there is a rise, there is more users who are using technology. So there is also more users who are using office supplies. So this is a relation that technology is mostly used where there are offices. So this visualization helps to understand that the relation between the products, the relation between, and also what amount of profit which generated. Let's jump on to the third sheet. The third sheet, it's a bubble like a graph in which I've tried to explain who were the users. The user who is a businessman, or he comes from a just a small family. He is using the products for his personal use, and he is a consumer, or he is having any office, or is from a corporate office. So we can say that corporate users who are using it in their corporate life are more from the west side and central side, east side. There is also more in central side. We can see we had a sales of 200,409 in this east, we had sales of 2,25,855 in West. Then compared to the corporate consumers, peoples, we had more consumers who were in East and West, and they were consumer persons, right? So they were around, say we had a sale around 3,50,000 and 3,62,000 from these two sides. Southern side is a very less amount of users the sale store had, and we can see home offices, right? So we have less amount of sales from central, east, south and west. East and west, both the sides, mostly there are, we had a amount, some amount of users, right? So from this visualization we can understand who were the users who came to the store for the purchasing the product, that may be from a furniture or a technology or office equipment. And from the fourth sheet, the data, we understand one thing from the data is that what amount of sales we had and what amount of quantity we sold. So this is a helical like structure that represent that we had this much amount of sales and this much amount of quantity. This helps understanding the amount of sale requirement and amount of quantity supplied. This helps the business manager to understand that if my sales are increasing, I need to increase my quantity productions also, right? And see, we if we just see it by state, so we can see in California state we had a quantity sold around 7,667 and sales around 4,57,000. We had these all small cities also where the quantity was the more and sales was also like little less to all the cities. One thing we see in this is if we compare Washington and Pennsylvania, then one thing is noticeable, that is the in Pennsylvania quantity is around 2,000 and sales is around 1,16,000. And in Washington the quantity is around 1,800 and sales is around 1,38,000. So quantity sold is less in Washington compared to the quantity sold in Pennsylvania, but the sales is more in Washington. That helps the business manager to understand that okay, these I sell some products, or the people like to sell some purchase some products whose quantity is less but whose price is more, and which helps me generate more sales, more that is mostly sold. So from this visualization, one thing that is really helpful was to understand this. So I hope these four were the visualizations I created from the data, and that may help the business manager or the business executives who plans and apply follows the strategies for increasing their business. They can understand that in which cities they are going great, in which cities they need to improve more, which other cities they are okay, and they just have to entertain their customers. They just have to check whether the customer is not having any problem and all. And there are some states in which they need to just also try to work a lot hard to improve their sales, right? So these were the task I got, and I think I've completed it successfully. And thank you for being till here. I hope you like this, and you can also check my other visualizations on my Tableau profile, that is smith.chitanya, right? You just have to go on Tableau and just write it down. You can easily see my other visualizations. Thank you for being till here. Thank you. Have a nice day.